Aussie in controversial phantom low blow. There's been early controversy at UFC 291 after Australian Jake Matthews was caught up in a phantom low blow. Classy tribute to Sinéad O'Connor. The music world lost a legend last week when Irish singer Sinéad O'Connor passed away at 56. While she rose to fame in the 90s, O'Connor holds a rare and memorable place in UFC history. At UFC 189 in 2015, as Conor McGregor was nearing the height of his fame, O'Connor performed his walkout song, the Irish folk ballad, Foggy Dew, live at the MGM Grand. It was the first time the UFC had allowed live walkout tracks to be sung. McGregor's opponent that night, Chad Mendes, walked out to Aaron Lewis singing Country Boy, before McGregor earned a come-from-behind second-round TKO win to claim the interim featherweight title. The UFC played a moving tribute video to O'Connor, commemorating her McGregor walkout, at the start of the UFC 291 prelims in Salt Lake City, 10:50 a.m. Roman Kopylov is a danger at middleweight. The Russian just obliterated Claudio Ribeiro in the second round, sending the Brazilian senseless with a perfectly set-up head kick. Jake Matthews wins wild brawl 10:25 a.m. Jake Matthews won a second-round submission victory over late-notice replacement Darius Flowers, and when we say it was all action, we're not joking. The first bizarre moment came with 90 seconds remaining in the opening round when Matthews seemed to rattle Flowers with a straight right hand. Flowers staggered and looked set to fall over. As Matthews went in for the finish, Flowers, who had been faking, threw a big right hand and finished the round in a dominant position with a takedown. Just seconds into the second round, Flowers collapsed to the ground, claiming he'd been kicked low. But replays showed Matthews' foot connecting squarely with Flowers' stomach. That's clean, that's clean. It touched low, but it touched low after impact, Joe Rogan said in commentary as the crowd rained down boos. That is toes digging into the gut. That's a clean shot. There was widespread confusion as the referee called timeout and the cage-side doctor was called in to assess Flowers. The 26-year-old Matthews absolutely dominated the rest of the second round, securing mount, raining down punches and looking for submissions. We eventually got to the right result when Matthews locked in a rear naked choke and forced Flowers to tap out. If the referee says it's too low, that's on me, Matthews said afterwards. We knew he'd put on the pressure in the early round, we just had to ride that out. While Rogan and fellow commentator, UFC legend Daniel Cormier, both thought it wasn't a low blow, the general reaction was split. Many fighters took to social media to say it's still a low blow despite the kick hitting the stomach first. 9:30 a.m. Miranda Maverick gets the show started with a dominant third-round submission win over Priscilla Cachoeira. Maverick dominated the entire fight, with Cachoeira even resorting to a few questionable tactics, fence and glove grabbing, possibly an eye poke. Volk's bold BMF prediction: Alex Volkanovski will be watching today's action closely, with the outcome potentially having an impact on his future. The featherweight champion discussed the fight and the fallout last week. I've got Dustin Poirier. It's going to go pretty similar to the first one, he said. If Gaethje can do it, it's going to be early. The longer the fight goes, the more chance Dustin wins it. The winner of today's main event puts themselves right in line for a shot at the lightweight title, but Volkanovski believes he should get the first shot at the winner of Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira's rematch in October. I think it makes sense. I get the lightweight title fight. I really do believe I'm the only one who can test Islam and beat him, he said. I plan on going out there and taking that belt from him. I don't see him losing to anyone. They're great fighters, but Poirier and Gaethje had their chances against Khabib, Nurmagomedov, and I think Islam's just as good as Khabib, maybe an even better striker. Khabib's very strong in the grappling, but when it comes to the striking, Islam's very calculated, and he doesn't take too many unnecessary risks. I think he's going to have the right game plan for guys like that, and he can make it look reasonably easy. That's no disrespect to them. That's just how good Islam is. People are going to want me to be the guy. They're going to want that rematch.